So this is an extra part for the user experience video. And because I spent some time thinking on my previous experience using Lovable, especially when I'm facing those arrows, go back and forth, and also I want to mention something else I didn't mention in the previous video. So first, I think that what I want to go deeper with the virtual control in Lovable is that I think the version control can really done better because it seems that every information I give to the AI, the guy will change the code and the code will push directly to the GitHub. It's like so where I think I can see the log somewhere. Um okay, issues, actions, no. I can just see the logs here, right? Okay, let's see the logs here. And you can see the logs that there are, some maybe some fixing some type issues, some small minor issues. Every fix is directly pushing to GitHub, to the Git repository. Actually, you don't need to do this. Actually, um, I think it's more better to have the AI, team member by your side, and you can discuss, you can programming together, rather than let him do all the work and push every um, action which submitted, or according to every information you gave to the AI. Actually, you can, um, actually, actually, we can, when we talk to the AI, is like here you have the editor here, right? We have a lot of conversations, and I would rather that we can make some deeper discussion over the system, over some part of the code. We don't have to commit the changes into the Git every time and directly. We can, form a I think we can form like a version which is suitable for us to push to the Git repository, and then we push it. It's like we have conversation here and then here and maybe somewhere else, and we decide okay, or I decide okay, it's time to make a push, and then we push to the Git repository, right? So I by this time, the Git repository is something that it's not dirty, right? It's not dirty. It's not, have a lot of bugs fixed back and forth, and makes you harder to, right, like revoke or reset to some specific version. It will be much more cleaner. It will be much more cleaner that okay, so this is the version we make some features here, and this is the version we make some fixes here, and all the fixes they are solid. We have some solid fixes, right? I don't want the unsolid fixes committed to the Git, and so that we have a solid version control system in in the Git and also in Lovable. And I would rather have some conversation about the system designs with the Lovable rather than just giving him some order and he just he just do some code change and write some code which a bunch of code, and sometimes I don't really see the code and it just commit to the GitHub. And also when you publish, right? You publish, you better have a published history here so you can see okay, so this is published history. I can go back to the history, and that makes you much more easier to track the history, track the versions. So we don't have the history here. I think it's better to have the history or public history here. It's actually sometimes it's actually this is something which is we call integration of the software development, right? So we can have some better like integration, some classic, some classic integration of the software development workflow into Lovable. I think this is something really helpful. And I think there are some other things I want to mention, and another thing would be how you charge. Actually, it's here that so here I see that the plans I'm billing is charged by so if I'm a free user here, so I have only like 5 daily messages, and I don't like this. I think that you can charge by minutes. Maybe I'm a free user. You just give me 30 minutes free visit per day, and if I want to like continue the workflow more than 30 minutes, we can make some other plans like starter plans, like launch plan, and something else, right? Um, um, because I want to have something like this because for a free user, 5 daily message is nothing. It's really nothing. You can just only build some toys, and if you want to attract um, real world user to build real world applications, well, you gotta see you gotta show them that the platform is capable for doing this, and I think within 30 minutes they can get it, but within 5 message, I don't think they can totally get it, and I don't think they have the patience to wait for like day, 1 day or 2 day for their research of this project of this application. And another thing, okay, so these are some like from my point of view or my thoughts or my solution to some current problem um, which I witness, and I don't know why we can only set up new application from scratch rather than integrate with program or projects or application which already existed. I think it will be much more great if you can collaborate Lovable with Azure, with AWS, and I think you can collaborate with Vercel. I see in document you can collaborate with Vercel, and I think it's a lot of work to be done, but it actually it's not that hard because every type of applications you deploy in Azure, AWS, it has certain protocols. So the protocols give you standard, and the only thing is that you train the AI to get to know the whole context of the system, which existing system or the existing code, and then you follow the protocol of Azure or whether AWS or maybe Firebase to shift new code. And I think this is the big picture of how we're doing it. Maybe I'm sure there's a lot of details, but I think this is part of the work that make it going to like real world engineering. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that in Asia, in China, nobody really have a lot of experience with Superbase. I'm not sure about how things goes in Europe, but this is what we happened here. And also, I think that let me try to think if I missed something here. Um, okay, and there are some front end side, some little thing that annoys me that I am a programmer who love key binding shortcuts, but some shortcuts are mysteriously bind to other like features, like this is folding the AI tool back and forth when I hit control B, which originally it just changed the cursor from right to left by by one position of the cursor. So there are some key binding on the page. I don't like it, but this is very personal. Yeah, and other thing is that um, I can see that this whole thing, if this develops well, it will be going to a direction that it can integrate with multiple platforms or existing platforms or applications like GitHub or Azure or AWS, Verso, and it have um, the sandbox as well. It shows how you develop these things, and also with the AI. It's actually I can see this as this is like an online IDE, right? So if we if we see this beyond the AI part, it's actually we make the software engineering on the screen. It's actually like we have an online IDE, but the online IDE is actually AI itself. So I would say that um, so here's the AI and here's the sandbox. And what is missing here is that maybe there's an IDE here. Maybe we can have the IDE here and shows what's happening in the code, rather than we check the GitHub and pull the code down there. So if there's AI here, I try to give the AI some information. The AI give me some code. You can just directly show in the online IDE. You can have some online IDE, a lot of online IDE like online VS Code or something else, and it gives you some let's say multiple visions um, through your project. Like you have the sandbox, you have the AI. The AI is the first place. The sandbox give you the preview of your application, and then you have the IDE, which you can play with the IDE as well. You can decide whether you commit the code by yourself or using the AI, right? So I think this is some part missing, because you can't totally rely on AI for you to build your application. And one more thing is that for web applications, there are just like two type of web applications. Let's say sometimes you have to design the web application by the developers themselves, and then sometimes they have the design team. They will give you the design, like the UI design or through like Figma, right? So it's better if you can import the Figma here and then just using the AI to generate the code. And because when you have the Figma design, you have to follow the design, right? It's really weird to tell the AI, okay, so how much the margin, how much is the padding. So you can just give them the design, which is better. And I think basically that's it, and basically that's all I want to mention. This is just some extra content, and yeah. And hopefully you all listened all my maybe some of my content are bullshit, but hopefully you listen, and hopefully you maybe you love it, right? So thank you, and bye bye.